Yeah, great test match, a lot of drama, very reminiscent I thought of the last time we played Aussie here when Bodie scored in the last minute to win a test. So there's something about this stadium and us playing the Wallabies. I'm stoked with the win. I think clearly we were second best by some distance in that first half. They threw a lot at us. I thought we came back just before half time, but to come back and show a lot of composure under that sort of scoreboard pressure and I guess to squeeze them and to win in the last few minutes, I think it's a great lesson for this team. We've had 3 good wins this year, and to come off a different type of win with that sort of result, I mean, that's what test matches are about, and it's going to hold us in good stead for later on. So we all know it wasn't perfect, but we'll take it.
Ian, how's your heart rate? Got away with murder a bit there.
Pardon?
Got away with murder a little bit there.
I'm not sure where the murder comes from. Seriously, I thought we deserved it. To be fair, I thought the second half we came back really, really well. And test matches you've got to play to the end, and I thought we did that, and I thought we found ways to squeeze them. But the original question, how's the heart rate? Well, you get a bit jumpy there for a little while, but I could see it unfolding after half time, but wow, we put under a lot of pressure early on, haven't we?
You've given a number of young players and youth rugby. How much do you feel they'll benefit from going through an experience like that, negotiating, I guess, their way to the finish?
Yeah, I think it's pretty critical. We had a strategy of going into this game with, I know we made a lot of changes, more than we have for a long time, but the overall objective was to win this test, but also to get the squad to the starting line of the World Cup all in a good space. If we didn't do this game like the way we did it, the danger was that we'd have a number of players in a World Cup squad that wouldn't have played a serious test match for 8 to 9 weeks. And so we knew what we were doing, and it was a bit nervous at half time, but wow, the upside of it is we came through it, and there were some big performances. I thought some of the new guys played better in the second half, and that's a good sign too.
So how much do you get out of, as a playing group, how much do you get out of having to sort of overcome that kind of deficit and kind of fight your way back into the match? How much do you get out of that as a playing group?
Yeah, I think we get a wee bit. Geez, mine's out of the news,
It's been on our mouth.
Because you've got to find ways to win, and like all test matches are different, and I believe you can talk about a lot of things, but sometimes you actually have to go through things as a team and overcome them to have that real deep, genuine belief that you can do it. And so I think if hopefully we don't find ourselves in that position again, but should we, then there's a little bit of a calmness amongst the group of right, we've been here before. Let's focus on what's important to fix and step forward from there. So I was really pleased with what the coaches and what we delivered at half time, and that the group was willing or able to implement it and to take it out there in the second 40.
Tom, what do you put that first 10, 15 minutes down to? Like, how did you assess that first 10?
I thought we just first of all, I think they were very good, but you look at the first kick-off, we weren't as competitive as you wanted to be. They then kicked the ball high in the air and they won a 50-50 high ball. So they won the 50-50, which showed to me that they were very up for the game, and we perhaps were missing a little bit early. And off that, they played a lot of phases and we got passive. And so, and passive's a hard word because it's not like we weren't trying, but we just weren't quite coming up as we needed to defensively. So it was more the defensive side of our game, I thought, took us a long time to get into it. And that's a credit to them because they are very big, powerful men, the Aussies. This is a big Australian team, and we saw it last week. And if you let them get them behind you and ride them in the tackle, they're an absolute handful. So I thought a lot of that issue, they managed to bend us a lot on the edges. Some of our backs, we weren't as quick as we needed to be to get up, and that caused the problems.
And how serious are the injuries with Brody and Brady?
I don't know yet. So they'll be heading in to get some scans. Both the knees. Braden's looks the same as we saw than Brody. So they were the main two that came through the game. I pulled this fella off because I just saw him go down once, so it was more my call than his call. But apart from that, we came through all right.
How concerning is that? Just about like Rory, a senior player in this team, getting into the World Cup.
Yeah, I don't like to worry about things until I know. So let's just get the scans and see what it says.
Yeah, what did you see on debut from Sam Penny and from Shaw? How did you assess their first?
Oh, look, it's just. I think when you come to a test match, sometimes you can do everything that you're good at and it shines. Sometimes you've got to work hard. This one here, I thought both of them probably took a little while to adjust to the pace of the game. But as the game unfolded, they got more involved and you started to see what they could contribute. So I think they've both been particularly happy. I thought particularly Sam Penny came back, he finished sort of over the top of them a little bit, which was nice to see for a young man.
Did anybody change their status in the World Cup squad today?
Not necessarily from my perspective, but I'm open to suggestions.
So nobody got themselves in or played themselves out?
Well, it's always going to be like that, this press conference, isn't it, really? It's we name a team on Monday. I'm not going to give too much away. We went in with a clear plan. We've had that squad in our mind very clearly, and today was a testing time for when they were to evaluate 2 or 3 options that we had. So maybe ask me that on Monday.
Sam, yesterday you said every time we get a chance to take the field as a team, there's a chance to take a step forward and get better. But it was a step backward the first half mainly, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first half was certainly a step backwards, and I think Fozzie's touched on some of the reasons why and where we lost some battles. But I think if you look at the second 40, the growth that we'll get from a mental perspective and to be able to grind out a game like that is going to be huge. So I think like a step forward isn't always reflective of the scoreboard, and we'll find, without a doubt, there's areas that we took a step backwards in. There's also a couple of areas, like the mental side and the pressure, which is real, which is very real out there. To be able to overcome that, I think, is a step forward, and it's the first time we've been in that position as a team this year, and with a lot of guys out there who hadn't experienced that sort of pressure and were had a lot less experience in terms of test caps. To go through that and experience that is invaluable. So I think, although we don't want to be winning them on the bell, it was a huge test match for us, and I'm really pleased with what we will have got out of it.
Yeah, when will players be told about the World Cup squad, or will they find out when you name it?
Sorry, what was that?
When will players be told? Like, do you tell them in advance, or will they find out when it's named?
Oh, look, we've got a process, so we're pretty clear about what we're doing. So I'll let you know that on Monday.
Yeah, have you seen
Too many media sneaking around looking for the teams at the moment.
Yeah, have you seen enough outside of this group from David Havili and Joe Moody to be able to consider them in your selection any time?
Yeah, they're all considered. We've had those people coming in and out the last 3-4 weeks, so we're pretty clear about where they're at.
How influential do you think Sam Whitelock was in helping that second half turn around and inspiring people around him?
Yeah, mate, I thought Sammy was huge out there. He's obviously like a calming figure amongst the forward pack. He's got more experience than almost anyone going around, but he also fronted up big time and won some really crucial turnovers for at times that we were under pressure. So being able to relieve that defensive pressure that we're under, he was huge again tonight.
So can you take us back to 8 minutes into the test, the Wallabies scored the second try? What did you say to the team and the leadership group as well to kind of get you guys back on track?
We talked about being a little bit slow to get set, so they were beating us to the punch. But also our tackle type, we were sort of getting ridden. They were getting gain line. It was quick ball, so You know, we spoke about making sure we've got 2 men in the tackle and we've got to start dominating collisions, and we didn't get it right straight away, which, you know, we'd like to as soon as we address the message, but we got there in the end.
Is this group where you need it to be 80 minutes from the start of the World Cup?
Yes. Yep. I think if you look at this year, the goal, you know, if you sat back and the goal was to get this team connected very, very quickly. We wanted to hit the ground running. At this point, we've only got one more test before we play France in the opening round. I think, you know, it was interesting. I had a chat to Grant Fox last night, and he sort of said in all his time with us, you know, there weren't many times that we had sort of 3 great tests in a row, and we started this year with, I think, 3 great tests in a row, and this week certainly wasn't a great test from, you know, it wasn't a step forward in relation to that question from the scoreboard side, but I think it was a step forward in terms of digging ourselves out of a hole, and you know, so it's just another thing that we're going to need to have ready, and it doesn't mean we're there yet. Well, I don't think we've ever said that, but I think overall we're very satisfied where we're at going into this next little block.
So was there ever an element of shock or shock during the test, or kind of, you know, worry that you guys could turn things around, or was it always confidence that you know, get the job done?
Well, but going into test matches, you're mentally prepared for different scenarios, but even by going over them in your head during the week, it sort of takes that shock factor away. It's almost a little sense of, you know, it's not a surprise because you've considered what could happen, and we've had some good discussions with our leaders and key game drivers around different scenarios, and you know, one of them is, you know, been down by 2 tries earlier. What if the opposition start really well? So because of that, you also don't allow yourself to think too far ahead, because there's nothing positive from worrying about the scoreboard or what's going to happen in 10-20 minutes time. Most important thing is the next moment and winning that one. And you know, seen in the first half, every time we had a chance to get ourselves back into the game, something went wrong. But just about staying composed, not allowing frustration to creep in, and trusting that we'll get some moments and we'll take them.
And do you think there were some lessons from this test that you would like to learn going into the World Cup?
Yeah, I'll probably repeat a few things I've already said, I think, which is one of the lessons, because not every lesson's a bad lesson. This lesson's a good one. I mean, we certainly put ourselves in a hole, and the Aussies helped put us there. And so, but when you come out the other side, you actually learn a lot about yourself and a lot about your comms and your trust in what you're doing. So I think that's the biggest lesson, to be perfectly honest. The stuff about the start, well, we can all pick holes in that, and we know we've got to work on that, and so we will. But I love the confidence that you get out of winning a test that looked like it might go the other way. And as long as I've been here, that's most years have a lot of test matches like that. And when you have a great year, it's because you've dug yourself out of a couple of ones and you've had a couple of ugly wins that you're pretty proud of. So we'll take it.